In this video, you guys are going to learn the exact process that we use with all of our athletes to understand if we should eliminate a pitch, if we should create a second pitch, or if we should just keep everything as we should. Because a lot of time I get questions all the time from my athletes, other athletes, if they should add another pitch to their arsenal. And by all means, a lot of these athletes already have 3 to 4 different pitches. A lot of them are already throwing higher velocities. Some of them don't throw that high velocities. Some of them throw just 2 different pitches, but they're really good with them, and they just greedily, for lack of better words, just want to add another one. And with this video, all I'm going to do is just show you guys an efficient process that you guys can go through in order to find out if you need another pitch or what exactly you need to improve within that pitch, just so you know the right steps to take. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Anthony Rodriguez. I run an online remote baseball performance training company, Versatile Athletics, and I've helped a lot of athletes just like you guys, over 150 athletes to this point, increase their velocity, move pain-free, and get the recognition that they deserve, all while training their natural movement preferences and teaching them how to think about their body more holistically, helping them become a more of an all-around pitcher rather than just one specific thing. So to really start diving into this, this is something that I call a decision tree, right? So it mainly includes of one topic, which is exactly where your biggest bottleneck is, whether it's the fastball, curveball, changeup, slider, right? Just picking up a pitch just to start off with it. And you want to break it down piece by piece as to what exactly you're going to do at each stage. And this is overall going to help you come to conclusions as to the drawbacks with positives and negatives that you will get from making that change. So to really start off with this, let's say you're a 4-pitch guy, you have fastball, curveball, changeup, slider, and for the most part, you kind of really want to change up your fastball a little bit just because it's getting, hit around a little bit. So for this fastball specifically, you have 19 inches of vert and 4 inches of horizontal, right? So this is more so kind of like a straight on fastball, flat fastball, if you want to call it that. It does have good vertical movement, but maybe it's just not enough for you. So now you want to go down the decision tree and you want to think of ways to go around it, right? So you want to ask yourself, is this a pitch that I can keep the same? Do I need to improve more horizontal movement? Do I need to improve more vertical movement? Do I need to develop a new pitch all around, right? So you want to, when you're asking yourself these questions, you want to know and understand, well, at what stage or what part of the season are you in? Are you off season, in season, preseason, whatever it may be? What is going to be the amount of time that is going to take for you to make that change, whether it's improving the horizontal movement, vertical movement, and or developing a new pitch around, right? Because you want to bring in mind your training economy, right? So you're not just spending a whole bunch of wasteless time just trying to create something that you possibly don't even need. So with this instance, like, we could go many different ways around it, and it all just depends on how deep you really go into this. But let's say you really just want to develop a new pitch around it. You're like, hey, you know what? Vert it's somewhat decently good. It's good. Like, it rises up. The only thing is just that it's a little flat. Maybe now you just need something that moves more horizontally, right? So now you think about developing a new pitch. How much is that really worth your time? Should you throw a sinker? Should you throw a changeup? What's easier? Are you a pronator? Are you a supinator? Should you throw a split finger? Something that gets it moving onto the other side. But hey, we already spoke that you're a 4-pitch guy, right? So you already have a changeup that's good. You already have a slider that's good. You already have a curveball that's good. Maybe all that you really needed to do was keep it the same and just pitch around it, right? So maybe you should not be throwing your fastball 90% of the time. Maybe you should pitch backwards. Maybe you should throw the curveball more. Maybe you should throw the changeup more. Maybe you should throw the slider more, right? So with each one of these, there's a lot of different ways that we can, that's going to give you a lot of more feedback, and you get to pick and choose which one is really worth more of your time and which one is going to give you the biggest benefit, right? So maybe you just want to increase more horizontal movement, but again, you're a 4-pitch guy, right? So we're looking at the whole view. You have a good, you got horizontal movement already with the changeup and the slider. Maybe if you develop more horizontal movement with the fastball, it's probably going to look just like your changeup. Is that really something that you want? So maybe the biggest thing here is just probably keeping it the same. Unless you decide to go on these routes. Again, this is really something that you must speak to yourself. How much is it going to hit? How often am I throwing it? And what certain counts am I throwing them in? And that's how you can really just go ahead and develop your own sense of what you need to attack next. And again, you can get as deep as you want with a lot of these things. So second, right, we want to think about off speeds. Off speeds, you have a lot of different options of what you want, of what you can do and what you cannot do. So maybe let's pick on the curveball, right? Maybe you have minimal depth on the curveball. Maybe your depth on a curveball is probably -4, right? It's not even a curveball at this point. Probably not. Maybe it's -6, somewhat decent. And now you want to ask yourself, well, what is it that I need to do with this curveball? It's just kind of staying a little bit flat and it's getting hit around. Do I need to eliminate it? Remember, I don't know, maybe you're a fastball, changeup, curveball, slider guy. Maybe you're just fastball, curveball, slider guy. And, you're asking yourself what you want to do with it. And you kind of understand both of the pitch movement that your slider has and the curveball. And if you were to add a little bit more depth, maybe your slider is somewhat of a slurve, so now your curveball looks like your slider. Is that really worth your time? Is that really something that you need? Probably not. Maybe you can keep that the same, or maybe you can just eliminate it overall. You see how we're going through the process of everything? Like, hey, you probably just needed to keep the curveball the same, just throw around it, build up another pitch that really complements it. But let's say in this case, you just go fastball, curveball, changeup, and now you really need to add depth into it, right? So now we're gonna go down the decision tree. So how do we add depth to the curveball? Do we improve spin rate? Do we improve spin efficiency? What is it that we need to do, right? So now let's say we pick improve spin efficiency. Maybe you have a lot of gyro spin on your curveball. That's why it's really not breaking or having that much of spin efficiency breaking downwards. And in that case, you either got to change up the grip or just probably use a different cue. Maybe think of shaking somebody's hand. Maybe think of taking your hat off. You have to really know a lot of what you're doing and what the metrics are for you. How often are you throwing them? What is really worth your time? Maybe that different cue doesn't really work for you. Or, changing the grip, it just made it look like a slurve, and it's not really what you wanted. So this is really how me and my athletes used a decision tree to help us understand what movements or what pitch selections do we need to pick next. Are you a 4-pitch guy? Well, you probably don't need a 5th pitch. You probably just need to master 2 or 3 of those pitches and just continue to deliver them until they've shown that they're actually broken. Maybe you're just a 2-pitch guy. Maybe you need an extra pitch. Or you have crazy metrics on a fastball moving vertically, horizontally, and then you're pairing that with a slider that is moving on the negative side of horizontal. So now you have something going up, side, and then on the other side, the right side of the spectrum and the left side of the spectrum and up the spectrum. Do you really need a 3rd pitch? Probably not. Maybe you're throwing 95. Or maybe your pitches are just super loopy and what you need is increased velocity, right? So this is as much as or as in-depth as you can get with the decision tree. The more layers that you keep adding, the more of answers that you will continue to get for yourself. And then you can put 2 + 2 together and obviously create the better path for you specifically. So I know this was kind of a lot. Hopefully this helps you guys. It is really game changing. It takes a lot of the guess out the work instead of you spending countless hours or days, weeks, months just trying to develop one pitch, which sometimes that may be the case. Maybe you just may have the right plan of attack and it's just going to take you a long time. But this process of eliminations gives you a clear path of where you should go next and what you should be doing next. And obviously, if this was a little bit too complicated, I do this for my athletes. You guys can always book a call with me. We can speak more about your situation and see if you guys are a good fit for the program, and I can go ahead and implement for you guys, and you guys just take care of the training and getting better. So hopefully this was able to get you guys some valuable information. Let me know down in the comments below how this was able to help you, and if you guys are using it, how it changed your career at the moment. I'll see you guys on the next one.